What's up, guys? Erebus here, once again with some more Dark Souls 3 PvP fun times. Back on my soul level 15 exclusively for this one. As I said, I think in my last video with this character, soul level 15 is one of my favorite levels to invade on. So I spend a lot of time on him and therefore have a lot of clips from him. This first one here, we ran into Wizard Larry and a Sunbro. I cut out a good portion of the fight because it just wasn't super engaging. Honestly, it was the two of them wailing on me healing, getting some turn and burns, and retreating, and just a very average invasion for a fair amount of it. But the end of it was enjoyable. Getting the parry riposte on that Phantom and then the guard break riposte on the host to end it. Give him a nice applaud because he did okay. GG, gents. Next up here, I invaded Jon Snow, the White Wolf. It's clearly a Jon Snow cosplay. Hopefully, he's got the Bastard Sword. I don't actually know enough about the Bastard Sword to know what it looks like. I haven't used it myself, but hopefully that's it. And somebody can tell me in the comments if it is or not. One of these settlers came out with me. I'm fine with that. This gentleman is clearly twinking to some extent because the Drang set he shouldn't have by this point, unless of course he already went through this area in the cathedral and everything and just never killed the Curse Rod of Greatwood, which I've done on a couple of builds that I knew I wouldn't be using a transposing kiln on. Get a massive bit of lag here. I don't know what happened there. That was just absurd. Tons and tons of lag. So at this point I'm expecting to just die out of nowhere. Apparently his parry hit me. With how that looked, at least. He parried and I took damage from a hit that must have come before that. Trick him with the bomb there, make him think I'm going to go for a parry, when in fact I just want him to come close so I can get some hits on him. He also gets a goofy backstab. That one, however, he actually gets the damage on, unlike mine. Tries to hit me with the Undead Hunter charm, so he knows a bit about what he's doing here. Doesn't actually affect me, probably again due to the severe latency here, because it looked to me like I was right in the center of it. So it probably should have hit me. Goes for the stomp, and I go ahead and punish him for that one. I'm not able to get the backstab, probably also due to the severe latency, but get the nice R1, R1, R2 on him, and that brings him into kill range, and I'm able to clinch it out. But GG on that one despite the latency. This one is pretty funny, to me at least. So I got invaded as I was trying to invade. This individual also has a parry shield, so I'm playing with my timings a little bit. Don't go for the third swing, although I could have charged the R2 and probably punished the parry attempt, but I'm not sure how good at parrying they are, because a relatively experienced PvPer who's fighting a relatively experienced PvPer will know to delay the parry for the charged R2. So I just thought it was a safer bet not to R2 at all. Now, important point, they go ahead and heal. Now it's going to become important. Here I make a terrible mistake because I've repeatedly come in to punish the little double flip attack. So they are able to get the parry on me when I inevitably do it again. So that was a poor choice on my part with being predictable. And they are now off. So I'm going to go ahead and use a Moss Clump here to get rid of my poison. And wait for their return. I'm not going to follow into enemies, which is what I'm assuming is happening. But no, they just Black Crystalled out once they realized that I had Estus as well. Not really sure what the plan was there. They healed first, so it's not like it was an honorable duel or anything like that. It was an invasion with Estus to be used. So maybe they just saw how much health I recovered with Estus and thought it wasn't worth it at that point. Don't know. But anyway, moving into this one here. This was an irritating adventure. So here we've got a Phantom using the Storm Ruler, which tells me that they are at least good at PvE. Don't know from a PvP perspective, what their experience is like, but they have to be good at PvE because they don't have an overleveled sign over their health bar or anything, which tells me they're not overleveled. They're an appropriate level for this area. But the Storm Ruler is a weapon that cannot be dropped, which means the Phantom had to have progressed through the game at least to the point of Yorn on this level. So they're at least good at PvE because that's, I've played through the game up until Lord of Cinder, more or less, excluding some of the optional areas with this character, to twink out my Estus and whatnot. So, at this kind of level, it's PvE is a bit more challenging than it would normally be. But at any rate, Host gets a cheeky parry on me. He's a bit of a parry king. Most of what he does here is run in and parry. So I decide I just want to get rid of that damn Phantom as quickly as I can. And I'm fast-forwarding part of this because it takes a while. The Phantom is quite a runaway type of person. Whenever I come in and target them, they're off and away. So it's a bit of a weird situation. But here I read that the rolling attack is coming, and I'm able to parry and riposte. The Host is very sad about this turn of events, with a nice collapse. And I give them a second to stand up. Okay, let's finish the fight there, buddy. And now he's off. And now he's not off. So at first I'm very confused here on if he's going to DC on me or what. Turns out there was a summon sign. So he's just trying to get a buddy back. Not sure if it's the same buddy or not, but he's just trying to get a pal back. So now he's playing the avoidance game. I'm able to go ahead and roll catch him. And he gets the point down because the multiple annoying parry attempts kind of got on my nerves in the moment. In hindsight, I mean, whatever. Play the game how you want to play the game, chap. Moving on to the next one here, I find a sorcerer. At this point by his lonesome, you can see a sunbro glimmering in the distance, but he's a bit occupied with this sledgehammer settlement dweller. Now they're going to go ahead and back down and sort of recollect themselves. Sunbro is over-leveled using Gothards, but I know that he's going to go for that after R1 stun trade attack, so I go ahead and parry that and take him down with the dagger. Host is shooting his little pew-pews at me, which is irritating. So I go ahead and try to get him with the combo there. Don't. He doesn't back up nearly far enough to get that spell off, and I punish it. Give him the point down as well. In hindsight, he didn't deserve it. He did nothing to deserve that point down. I was just being a jackass. So it is what it is. Ran into Spaghetti here next, and Spaghetti is clearly also a bit of a crit build, most likely a dex build using a nice little pokey poke, and also the target shield. But he knows his timings pretty well, and he also knows what parry kings do because he did not get parried by me there. He interrupted his spam right when I went for the parry, so good on him for that. Here he leaves the Phantom alone for a bit, and I'm able to guard break and riposte him down. So now it's just me and the Host. Now I don't see him, so I'm assuming he's run back to the bonfire like a coward to resummon. But no, he was right there at the top of the stairs waiting with a charged attack. So once again, good on him. I definitely did not expect that. Now he's got some panic rolls going. And now the running is happening. So I get him with a bomb and get him with another bomb to let him know there's no running from me, sir. You will need to come and fight me. Since he's using a poking weapon, I'm able to pretty easily just circle around him as he's trying to poke, and I'm able to punish the parry attempt with a backstab. That's about all she wrote for that one. But GG, man. GG. That was a pretty good fight. Now we are in the good old Crucifixion Woods. Got a Sunbro here, and another Sorcerer host. Trying to fight this Crucified chap, which is he's a pretty tough enemy, or can be a pretty tough enemy. He's got 0 poise, so you can pretty much just wail on him. But outside of that, he does a decent bit of damage, and his movement is really wild and kind of unpredictable. Now I'm getting annoyed here because I've guard broken this Phantom multiple times, but I can't clinch out the kill because this host is going with the little pew-pews. So I decide I'm going to retreat a little bit and just kind of dance around until he runs out of FP, which I just saw him chug an Ashen Estus, so it's going to be a while. So I'm just going to dance around right here, keep the Phantom in my sights so that he doesn't come in with the attacks, but also keep my eye on the host so I can roll those pew-pews. There I was stuck in an R1 by the Phantom and was unable to get away from the spell. But now it looks like the host is out. He's switched to a Irithyll Straight Sword and Shield. So now I can start actually fighting instead of dancing. Now that the spells are out of the way, so go ahead and get my guard break on this Phantom yet again, and this time I can get the riposte since I don't have little pew-pews firing at me. Host gets mad about that, tries to R1 me, and then just books it. And books it. And books it. Now once he gets back to the bonfire, he's very passive. He does throw out a few attacks, but a lot of it is trying to sidestep back away, just stay away from me. Clearly he's just trying to wait until the cooldown period's over so he can resummon. He does get a surprise, a couple surprise spams on me because I wasn't expecting them. Unfortunately with that last one, I did see the spam coming, so I went ahead and parried that third hit and ended it. Gave him a nice toast because it's one of the emotes I'm using a lot more often now in invasions, because you know, if it weren't for hosts and hosts with phantoms and whatnot, we wouldn't be able to invade. So even when hosts are a bit annoying, or phantoms are a bit annoying, or really anything else, I'm still glad they're there because it means I get to invade. It means I get to, you know, actually still be playing this game that's been out for years at this point, and also make videos on them. So yeah, I'm using Toast a bit more to be a bit more amicable, and starting to kind of gravitate away from point downs or cheeky point ups or, you know, stuff like that. I'll still throw them out occasionally if somebody irritates me enough, but it's becoming a lot less frequent, from me at least. Now moving into this one here, we've got a little bit of latency here with this host. I can tell based on the there's a little bit of a delay with the hits and my parry timing. I had a good parry a little bit ago, and it didn't pan out. That was not a good parry, so can't judge it by that one. But I was trying to play with the latency and just see if I could figure out, you know, when I would be in a good place to parry when there's latency. Because as I've said before, multiple times I think at this point, I'm not great at dealing with latency and correcting my own behaviors for it. So I was doing a little bit of playing around just to try to see. Now here I went ahead and got the after trade parry and riposte. Guess the latency ended, or it was never there to begin with, and I was imagining it, and actually just sucked at all those parries. But either way, was able to get that one, and go ahead and end it. Now this one is a lot of fun. Now the Phantom bows to me. I go ahead and bow back. At this point, I don't really believe that those are dual initiations anymore, because most of the time other people will bow as well, and it's really never a duel. But in this case, it is. The host is just kind of chilling back there, letting his Phantom fight me. I am not looking great on health, but I don't want to be the first to heal. in case this is an honorable duel. I will go ahead and get the setup parry there on the greatsword, and that takes him down. Now my plan was to bow after the fact, because that was indeed an honorable duel, and I was quite happy about it, but the host wants none of it. He is coming in hot. So he's clearly upset that I have killed his Phantom. Didn't go for the after trade parry there, and ended up working in my favor because this host didn't actually go for the third attack. They did go for the second one, but not the third, which was smart. Now here they were just a little too predictable with their timing about taking a couple steps around me and then hitting, and taking a couple steps around me and then hitting. So that parry I was able to get. Missed the Undead Hunter charm first time and second time. So they were able to get a drink off. Once again, we're just a little bit too predictable with their attack patterns, so I'm able to get another parry, and that time no health left. So I get them, and to my earlier point, go ahead and cheers them anyway, because even though that was a dirty trick, not really a trick, but a dirty move to just rush me after the honorable duel with the Phantom, I'm still glad that I was able to have a good fight. So anyway, that's all I've got for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.